meeting of the Township Committee, April 20th, 2015. The notice requirements provided for in the Open Public Meetings Act have been satisfied. Notice of this meeting was properly given by transmission to the Star Ledger, the Independent, and the Two River Times by posting at the Middletown Township Municipal Building and filing with the Township Clerk all on January 9, 2015. Committeeman Fiore.
Here.
Committeeman Sharpenberger.
Here.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Mastel.
Here.
Mayor Murray. Here. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first item on tonight's, may we have a moment of silence to honor the troops serving worldwide, defending our freedoms, constitutions, and way of life. Thank you. Our first item on tonight's agenda, we have administration of the oath of office. Our first oath will be given to Sergeant Stephen Keller. If you'd like to please come forward with your family.
I, Stephen Keller, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people. And I do swear to faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of the police sergeant, according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
For sure. I'm sorry that I failed you. I feel like it should
to invite Sergeant Donald Coates to please come forward with his family.
I, Donald Coates, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey, and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and to the governments established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people. And I do swear to faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of the office of the police sergeant, according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
Brief, and I know we have a very busy schedule. I'd like to thank the administrator, the mayor, and the committee for making these promotions tonight. I congratulate the officers. Thank everybody for coming in attendance. A little background about the officers. Sergeant Keller previously worked for the Monmouth County Sheriff's Department, joined Middletown in 1999. He's one of our police department firearms instructors. He's a former member of the Emergency Services Unit. He's a field training officer who instructs new officers when they're initially hired. And he holds an associate's degree from Brooklyn Community College. Sergeant Coates had been a military policeman in the United States Air Force, joined the police department in 2004. Several times he's led the department in drunk driving arrests, and he's also a field training officer and holds an associate's degree from Brooklyn Community College. Both these officers have been in acting sergeant's positions for a while. Fortunately, through some restructuring and retirement, an opportunity to permanently promote both of them. I know they're both going to do an outstanding job. The role of the police sergeant is probably the most critical one in the department. The police administration sets policies and procedures, but it's the sergeant as the field supervisor and that actually directs and guides the officers. And they've done an outstanding job up to now. I'm confident they're going to continue to do a good job. So, thank you.
Very briefly, I just wanted to make you all aware, we have a proclamation here for the police department. It is Police Week again, coming up in May. And just read very briefly parts of this. The Congress and the President of the United States have designated the week of May 10th, 2015 through May 16th, 2015 as National Police Week. And the men and women of the Middletown Police Department unceasingly provide a vital public service. So now I, Mayor Stephanie C. Murray, and the Middletown Township Committee proclaim that the week of May 10th, 2015 through May 16th, 2015 is designated as Police Week in the Township of Middletown, and we call upon the citizens and patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe this week with appropriate ceremonies and observances in which all of our people may join in commemorating law enforcement officers, past and present, who, by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities, have rendered a dedicated service to their communities, and in so doing have established for themselves an enviable and enduring reputation, preserving the rights and security of all of our citizens. So thank you very much.
I'd like to thank the mayor and also share with you that we're going to be holding tours during Police Week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9:15 to 5:15. So if you're available, call the police chief's office and schedule an appointment. Drop by the left straight and learn more about the park. And on Friday, we'll have the memorial at 11 o'clock. If the weather permits outside in the front lawn. If it rains, we'll be inside. Thank you.
Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have recognition of the Middletown South High School's Eagles girls basketball team for winning the 2014-15 NJSIAA Public Group 3 Girls Basketball Championship. At this time, I'd like to invite Superintendent Director William George, Principal Patrick Ranella, Athletic Director Rich Carroll, Head Coach Thomas Brennan, and the high school South girls basketball team.
Okay, now we have to
together
take a
and
picture.
shut these two up, see what, like, sort of street. All right, we'll get all that done. Have I seen your certificate? No, if I have a good turnaround with the shiny deals on it, that's whatever you gave, you go see. All right, ladies, that's your check, good? Awesome. This way.
At this time, we have a presentation to Red Bank Fire Department in appreciation of mutual aid coverage. At this time, I'd like to invite Middletown Township Fire Chiefs and Red Bank Fire Department Chiefs, please come forward.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Deputy Chief John Borsley from the Middletown Fire Department. In July of 2014, we unfortunately came on the situation in Middletown that our bucket truck at Station 8 had become out of service due to a manufacturer's defect. It went out of service for approximately 9 months, and in that length of time, we imposed on Red Bank and asked them to help us on 77 different calls that they came into Middletown to cover us on in that lengthy period of time. And for that, we'd like to at least give them some honor of what they've done and appreciate it. I'd like to introduce Pete Fazio, he's the First Assistant Chief from Red Bank Fire Department, and also Art Murphy, who is the Fire Commissioner for Red Bank. Thank you.
I'll read it because we also have your certificate. Thank you so much for your help.
I'm not even going to read it.
Presented to the chiefs and members of the Red Bank Fire Department by the Middletown Township Fire Department to express sincere thanks and appreciation to the officers and members for their untiring efforts and assistance in our time of need. Our residents join us in extending our heartfelt gratitude for your brotherhood. Thank you for the dedicated and meaningful service to the citizens of Middletown Township. Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm just making sure we're all ready before I say.
She's ready, she's ready.
You're ready,
You're
I'm
ready
ready.
to seize the photo.
And it's photo time. This is much easier than the basketball team. Awesome. Thank you very much.
Thank you. First of all, Mayor, thanks for having us tonight, and the council, thank you very much. Serving on of Red Bank Township for 12 years as the police commissioner and the fire commissioner for Borough of Red Bank. I just want to thank the citizens that are here today, because you have a great volunteer fire department. I know we do a lot of cross-training with Middletown, and I always like to think that you're either backing us up or we're backing them. And most of the guys who aren't here today, most of Red Bank and some of Middletown are out there fighting fire with us right now. So that's the dedication of the volunteers, especially amongst firemen. And one thing that I recognize is that there's a brotherhood there. And you guys are truly a brotherhood, and that's what it's all about. So I'd like to thank you guys very much. This is an honor to receive this, but hey, we're going to be looking for you someday. So that's how that works. So thank you very much, and enjoy the night. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Yeah, anytime. Anytime. It's always a pleasure.
No better.
Thank you very much.
At this time, we have a proclamation designated May 3rd through the 9th of 2015 as Municipal Clerks Week in Middletown Township.
I'll call myself. Ms. Heidi Carnes. So I can't personally say enough about this department. We work very closely with the clerk's office, and once again, always it is my pleasure to declare this announcement. You guys, like I said, I can't say enough because the work that comes out of this department is just top-notch. We work very, very hard. We deal with the tons of over requests that we get as well as the public, and they always have service with a smile. So these ladies and the other ladies in this department, they do deserve a lot of credit, and we do appreciate them. So without further ado, and we're declaring it Municipal Clerks Week. Once again, if you didn't hear, it's May 3rd through the 9th, 2015. And the Office of the Municipal Clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world. The Office of the Municipal Clerk is the oldest among public servants, and the Office of the Municipal Clerk provides a professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agency of government at all levels. And municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful in their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. And the municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. And municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the Office of the Municipal Clerk through the participation in educational programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, province, country, and international professional organizations. And it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the Office of the Municipal Clerk. Now, therefore, I, Stephanie C. Murray, and the Middletown Township Committee do recognize the week of May 3rd through May 9th, 2015 as Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend an appreciation to our Township Clerk, Heidi Carnes, and to all municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities that they represent. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to say to the general public that our office is always here to help anyone who needs help, understanding the different departments, or understanding any procedures in the township. We'll definitely make it, so that you were helped and leave happy. So the staff that I have and everybody in the office, we love to help everyone. So if you need anything, not just that week, but all year round, we're here to help. Thank you.
So nice and not to do that twice. That's good.
At this time, we have a proclamation designating May 2015 as Older Americans Month in Middletown Township. All the rest of the proclamations on tonight's agenda will be read for the record, except for proclamation designating May 2015 as the American Cancer Society's 8th Town Hall. At this time, I'd like to invite representatives from the American Cancer Society, including Crystal Vigura, to please come forward.
Yes, that's you guys, go ahead.
An estimated 50,650 people, New Jersey residents, are diagnosed with cancer each year, and 16,650 will not survive. And Middletown Township is joining with 5,200 other communities worldwide to host the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life, an event to celebrate cancer survivors and remember those who are no longer with us. And Middletown's Relay for Life begins on June 6th at Middletown High School North. And Relay for Life raises funds to help the American Cancer Society create a world with less cancer and more birthdays by helping people stay well, get well, find cures, and fight back. Now, therefore, I, Stephanie C. Murray, and the Middletown Township Committee, do hereby proclaim May 2015 as the American Cancer Society's Paint the Town Purple Month in anticipation of our Relay for Life. We encourage citizens and businesses to paint the township purple in support of the fight against cancer. And we further encourage all citizens to celebrate cancer survivorship, remember loved ones lost to disease, honor caregivers, and join Middletown's fight against cancer. Only together we will find a cure. So we're going to hear a little bit about the event that we have coming up this year. It's fantastic and very well as an event.
Like we said, Relay for Life is on June 6th at High School North. It'll begin at 2 p.m. and it will go throughout the night until June 7th at 6 a.m. is the final ceremonies. We have people who walk the track all night, and they are supposed to symbolize that cancer never sleeps. So we stay up all night, we have activities and games and stuff to keep people interested and keep them awake at those wee hours in the morning. The past 2 years, Relay for Life in Middletown has been the #1 relay in Monmouth and Ocean County. Last year raising over $109,000, and this year our goal is $115,000, which we are on our way to achieving.
Great job.
Nice shirts and nice smiles.
Doesn't sound good.
Not me. Very nice.
Called an alarm.
on tonight's agenda, we have a public hearing of proposed ordinance. Before we do that, we're going to just note for the record that we have a proclamation declaring May 2015 Older Americans Month. We have a proclamation declaring May 7, 2015 as a day of prayer. We also have a proclamation for Paint the Town Pink 2015. And a proclamation declaring May 2015 Buddy Poppy Month. Thank you. Okay, our next item on tonight's agenda, we have proposed ordinance for public hearing 2015-3135, refunding bond ordinance providing the refunding of certain general obligation bonds of the Township of Middletown, New Jersey, appropriating $3,200,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $3,200,000 in bonds or notes of the Township for the financing the cost thereof.
Is there anyone wishing to speak to 2015-3135? Yes, sir.
Good evening, my name is Ron Watson, living at 1 Robinson Drive. Between all of this ordinance here, I had a couple questions. I was hoping somebody could answer here. It says that we're refunding that's a bond. Do you know what ordinance it is from? In 2007 and 2008?
I printed this one.
Pull that up, I don't have the actual. I have to pull that up, I don't have the actual ordinance numbers on here. Because it's not, these are the bond issues, they're not the actual ordinances, just from those years. This was whatever was issued in those particular years. So if you like to call me, I can give that to you, but that's going to be a combination of different ordinances.
So is this including all the bonds from that particular year?
It's an issue from 2007 and 2008, and it'll be whatever was financed at that time, which could be a series of ordinances.
Okay. I think in 2007, we voted some bonds to purchase development rights for Forest Farm. Is that supposed to be included in that?
I don't know, I'd have to, that would be a good one. I'd have to look at the actual original issue and see if the ordinances were included in that.
And the total amount that we're refunding for the 2 years is 3.2 million?
That's the maximum that the issuance would be. The amount that is being refunded is in total debt service is 3.6 million. But the maximum amount that we would need to issue would be 3.2 million.
And what's the difference in the 400,000?
Well, there's savings that all come with, that's why you do a refunding.
We're paying it off early?
It's not that we're paying it off early, it's that the interest rates are low enough that we achieve savings. And so some of the interest payments will go down, and therefore the new debt service will be a little bit lower than the 3.6 million, save about 134,000 overall. And the principal amount that's being refunded is 2.8 million.
Okay. Excuse me. Section 2, it says we're allocating $70,000 for expenses.
Right. When you issue a bond, there's costs for the financial advisors through the county, the bond counsel, the underwriter's discount, all of those things are included.
So we borrow money, it's like borrowing money for closing costs in the house.
Right, but in the end, it's achieving a savings of $134,000.
Right. Especially like the borrow my closing costs in my house. Are we going to issue
This would be a bond, and doing this ordinance does not commit us to actually issuing the bond. It's done through Monmouth County Improvement Authority, which includes a number of towns, until the actual deal is negotiated and we see the savings. We don't have to commit to doing this. This just gives us the ability to do it if it's favorable for the township.
So we might not refinance these at all.
Right, if at the time they negotiate the deal, if the interest rates aren't favorable for us, we won't do this.
And what time do you think that will take?
I believe they're looking to price the bonds in May.
Okay. And that's because the group that's due in December of 2017?
It's right, they're refunding, it would be, there's more to it than that, but yes, it starts with the principal being refunded is principal that would normally have been due in December of 18.
Okay. And what about like December of 2017?
Those are not callable yet. But we see, we get the savings through interest rates being lower. So the interest being reduced on the outstanding principal after the callable years offsets the cost.
So the 2017 bonds we do
Right, we'll still pay that.
before 2018?
Right, and the township will still pay that.
Okay. The way it read it looked like that was included in this whole transaction. In section 5, it says that that's going to be an increase. I was just wondering, I think is that the 2.8 million figure here that we have to increase the debt by?
What happens when I do the supplemental debt statement, which was done when we introduced this, you have to do it for the 3.2,
Right.
because that's the maximum that we're authorizing, but then you take a deduction for the amount that's being refunded.
So don't we already know that number? Right now?
You do, but when you're refunding that amount, when you're refunding the 2.83 million, you're not going to issue 3.2 million and also have 2.837 still out there. They're, part of the transaction is they pay off those bonds.
Okay, because it's mentioned about increasing debt. I didn't really understand that. Why would we increase the debt so we owe that much?
Because you're doing a new bond ordinance, and with a new bond ordinance, you have to do a supplemental debt, which, like I said, you do it to the maximum amount being authorized with the deduction for the amount that's being refunded.
Okay, and all these payments that are currently scheduled throughout through to 2023, are all of these worked into the current budget?
Well, the only ones that would be in the current budget would be the 2015 payments, and yes, they're currently in there.
Thank you. We should clear up a whole bunch.
Thank you. And like I said, if you want
Yeah.
details on the ordinances, just give me a call, I'll give those to you.
Great, thanks.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak to 2015-3135? Okay, seeing no other members of the public wishing to speak to 2015-3135, I move to close the public portion and adjourn.
Second.
Committeeman Fiore.
Yes.
Committeeman Sharpenberger.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Michelle.
Yes.
Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt this ordinance on second and final reading. Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have introduction of proposed ordinances. Our first ordinance, 2015-3136, an ordinance amending chapter of the Township Code regarding police organization. It's actually titled Ordinance Amending Authorized Police Ranks.
So moved.
Committeeman Fiore.
Yes.
Committeeman Sharpenberger.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Michelle.
Yes.
Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held. Okay, public hearing to be held May 4th, 2015. Our next item on tonight's agenda, we have an introduction of ordinance 2015-3137. I'm going to read it by its actual title. An ordinance establishing 3 new stop sign locations, modifying a stop sign, and establishing parking restrictions at the Middletown Arts Center parking lot. I'm sorry, 4 new stop signs.
Motion to introduce.
Committeeman Fiore.
Yes.
Committeeman Sharpenberger.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Michelle.
Yes.
Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held May 4th, 2015. Our next ordinance introduced, we have 2015-3138.
So moved.
Second.
It's an ordinance establishing new list of authorized street names. Mayor?
So moved. Yes.
And who's second?
Jerry.
second.
Committeeman Fiore.
Yes.
Committeeman Sharpenberger.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Michelle.
Yes.
Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Motion carries to pass this ordinance on first reading with a public hearing to be held May 4th, 2015. Tonight we have the consent agenda, which will include resolutions 14-145 through resolution 15-152, including bingo and raffle applications and volunteer firefighter applications.
So moved.
Second.
Committeeman Fiore.
Yes.
Committeeman Sharpenberger.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Michelle.
Yes.
Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt the consent agenda. At this time, we have resolution 15-144, resolution authorizing payment of bills for April 20th, 2015.
So moved.
Second.
Committeeman Fiore.
Yes.
Committeeman Sharpenberger.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Michelle.
Yes.
Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt resolution 15-144. At this time, we have the Township Committee acting as the ABC issuing authority. We have resolution 15-153, resolution authorizing a person-to-person and place-to-place transfer for license 1331-44-008-008 to Middletown Liquors LLC.
So moved.
Second.
Committeeman Fiore.
Yes.
Committeeman Sharpenberger.
Yes.
Committeeman Sedambrino.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Michelle.
Yes.
Mayor Murray.
Yes.
Motion carries to adopt resolution 15-153. We have Township Committee comments?
I'm going to start with Committeeman Sedambrino.
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few items this evening. First thing is on April 11th, I had the pleasure of attending the Veterans Street Sign dedications. There were 5 additional street sign dedications that were done, and this was due in large part to the work of Dr. Sharpenberger and former Mayor Fiore, and it's a fantastic program. They'll speak on it a little bit more, but it certainly enlightened me, and it enlightened the residents and mostly today's children to understand how the streets were named and to understand the sacrifices that were made by our armed services to achieve and enjoy the freedoms that we have today. They are not free. They were earned and lives were lost, and people need to understand that. So that continual reminder is an excellent way that the township has moved ahead and dedicated these streets, and there will be more to come. The second item on this past weekend, I had the pleasure of attending the Middletown Little League Parade. If anyone does not know, there are 900 players in NYAA and 75 teams. So it's a great testament to the success of our volunteers here in Middletown. And it was a fantastic day. In fact, too fantastic. I think I got a sunburn from the day, about 75 degrees, but it was a great day. The third item is I want to bring your attention to something that the coach said with regard to the high school girls basketball team. He made one comment, and I'm don't know if anyone heard it, but I want to repeat it. He said that the team put the team goals ahead of the personal goals. And that's something that everyone should continue to remember. And here as a member of the Township Committee, that everyone here understands that we're here for the benefit of the town, and everyone is here, and the volunteers are here for the benefit of the town. And to put team goals ahead of personal goals, everyone succeeds. So that's a great testament. I just want to make sure I repeated that comment that the coach made. So with that, Mayor, thank you very much.
Very well,
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few comments this evening. I echo what my colleague, Senator said regarding the veteran street signs. As you drive through the town in really all corners of the 42 square miles of this municipality, you will undoubtedly come upon one of the, I believe it's now 36 or so, Ted, right around that number, streets that are named for our veterans of this township who lost their lives defending our freedoms and way of life in multiple and various battles. So I think those street signs are great for the neighborhood. I think they're great for the, as my colleague said, great for the children to understand, exactly why those streets are and how, freedom is not free in this country. And it's one of those things where, I think Middletown, is one of the leaders, especially, I know we're the only town doing it in Monmouth County, and working with our Veterans Affairs Committee, it is my goal, I know it's many members of this Township Committee's goal to help that committee get that message out to the other municipalities. It is a very worthwhile cause that all municipalities should entail to honor their fallen veterans that have streets named after them. I just think that people come and go, and the town is here forever, and those sacrifices are made forever. So I hope that other municipalities, we will do everything we can to get them to adopt the same type of program in their municipality. As my colleague also said, this is the season, the spring season is upon us, which is good news because it means I believe the snow season is behind us. And, obviously a very challenging winter from a budget perspective, despite our budget being able to be introduced at arguably its lowest level in probably north of a decade. That doesn't come without the cost to, for snow removal and streets that now bear the brunt of the plows that were going down over the ice that we had to bear for so long. So we're starting to unfortunately see the fruits of that venture. But on a positive note, it is also the time for our spring recreation sports. And I unfortunately did not have the pleasure of attending either of the Little League parades that were going on simultaneously because I was coaching a 4-year-old soccer game at that time. So it is the season for our recreational activities. But the one thing I did want to mention is we have started our youth advisory group, sports athletic advisory group, or whatever we call it, long acronym there. But that has been a very we've had 2 meetings so far. It's been a very good, productive committee. So I thank the Township Committee for taking the lead in passing that and creating that group. And the one thing I can say is I think we still have a lot of ways to go. But I do, as a testament to our Recreation Department and our Public Works and Parks Department, I do think our field conditions to start are probably the best they have been in a number of years. So I am always very pleased to see the best, most safest conditions for our youth to participate in the hundreds of youth sports that we have out here. There's dozens of youth sports with hundreds of thousands of participants. Final quote, just want to, again, thank all the volunteers we saw this evening, the fire department, just great camaraderie that we see at all times with such great volunteers. Once again, congratulations to the Middletown South League Eagles on a great championship that they brought to Middletown. So 2 championships in 2 sports in 2 schools in 2 months. So awesome stuff. Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Dr. Scharfenberger?
Okay, thank you. Just a few things. I'm not going to belabor the street sign. It was a great ceremony. And it is great where it just so happens that a lot of the street corners are right near schools. There's one by Ocean Avenue School, one by Lincroft School, and another one near Thompson. So it's great that the kids are reminded that everything we enjoy here is really the result of the sacrifice of folks like those that we're remembering with those signs. One thing that did come up, though, it only goes as far back as World War II. And apparently it's very difficult to find out the names of World War I veterans, Spanish-American War, and back. And I thought it would be a good idea if maybe a history class or some of the school kids could maybe help with researching some of the names so we can pay proper tribute to some of the earlier theaters of war. And I know everybody's familiar with those old Middletown names like Stillwell and Warford and Conover. They have streets named after them, and I know that they had relatives who fought or ancestors, I should say, in the Red War and the Civil War. So I think that would be a good project for the next round of street signs, maybe, to remember those sacrifices too. I was the one who did the other Lincroft parade, the other Little League parade in Lincroft this past Saturday. And Lincroft Little League, I think, is celebrating its 52nd and 53rd year. And also, I gave a proclamation for the Challenger program, which is now 25 years old. Tremendous, tremendous programs, excellent outpouring of support by volunteers and parents. It really is something to be very proud of throughout the whole township. And it was a great day, sitting out there and not having to worry about snow coming down for a change. You really knew winter was over, so that was a good thing. I would say I also attended an Eagle Scout ceremony. We have had a bumper crop of Eagle Scouts in this town over the last couple of years. It seems like every few weeks we get another invitation for an Eagle Scout ceremony. But just a great program, and it's, again, a testament to all the great Scout leaders and parents and kids who go in for Scouting. I also attended the Monmouth Conservation Foundation meeting, which was actually held yesterday at Navesink Country Club, and they do a tremendous job of helping to preserve property throughout Monmouth County, and quite a few properties here in Middletown that we've partnered up with them. So they deserve a lot of credit. It's a nonprofit, and they do a tremendous job of raising the funds that it does unfortunately take to preserve a lot of the areas that we would like to see preserved. We also, in fact, I'll turn it over then to the deputy mayor, but we had a meeting with several commercial real estate brokers this past week, and it was a great meeting. We wanted to get a sense of what some of the trends are, what we should be looking to do here in town to make Middletown more attractive to business. And we really want to spur economic development as much as possible here in town. By expanding the commercial tax rateable base, it takes the pressure off the residential property owners. And that's really ultimately what you want to do. And the economy's struggling, and New Jersey, has its difficulties, so we really want to be at the cutting edge of everything we can do that's humanly possible to make Middletown as attractive. And we've got a lot of great input from the brokers who, really are the boots on the ground when it comes to these sort of things. And last thing before I stop, we got an email complimenting our building construction official, Joe Kaczynski, and his staff, somebody who was really devastated in Sandy, and really complimenting Joe for the professionalism and the effort that he put in to helping make a bad situation somewhat tolerable. So we're very proud of that, and it's always good to hear good things about the staff here in Middletown. And with that, thank you very much.
Thank you. Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. Just a few things. I don't want to belabor the point, but I was also at the sign dedication, and I think it's one worth continuing. As Councilman Senabrino said, freedom is not free. And one of the stories that stuck with me was on, I think it was Blevins, on Blevins Street. The soldier got a Purple Heart, and we heard the story of how that happened. And he was a World War II vet, and he was a Vietnam vet, and he saved two people who were injured in action, went back for the third, and was killed in action. And, that's the type of, the message that, can get lost. And these dedications are phenomenal. And Dr. Scharfenberger and Kinman Fury, it was a phenomenal idea to get going. So I I was also at the Economic Development Committee for Commercial Realtors, and we got some phenomenal ideas. Dr. Schifferberger started it, and I think it was a great idea. We met with commercial realtors from all different towns, and got some great ideas of how to spur development. One of the things that stuck out to me as a residential realtor in town, one of the agents said that you want to make sure that your town's building department is friendly and very welcoming to new businesses, and you can't say that about many towns. And he actually was very complimentary to our building departments. Middletown is phenomenal. They are very welcoming to businesses, and that was just great to hear from a completely objective point of view. I was not able to go to the NY Parade or the Lincroft, but I did go to the Challenge Youth Sports event afterwards. And I'll tell you what an incredible event that is. I just need to kind of break that down a little bit. Paul Hooker, who started 25 years ago, the story that he told was phenomenal. He was part of Lincroft Little League. He was giving out awards, and there was a girl there in a wheelchair, and she said, "Well, this really stinks," quote. "I wish I could be up there getting these awards." And from that day on, Paul started the Challenge Youth Sports, and it's for challenge youth of any kind, of any sort of special needs. And in the past 25 years, they started with 20 children. They have now 150. It's not just Middletown, it's all surrounding towns. Homedale, Matawan, anywhere in Monmouth County. In the fall, they have soccer. In the spring, they have baseball and softball. They have tennis. So if you know anyone who has special needs children who are interested in that, getting involved with sports, by all means, look into it. The information is on our website. Just to piggyback on that, just a reminder, this is Autism Awareness Month. April is Autism Awareness Month. It's 1 in 45 children in New Jersey are being diagnosed with autism. My daughter is one of them. She's also does the Challenge Youth Sports and does dancercise. I forgot to mention that one on Saturday mornings. To get out there and they really go to town. It's a lot of fun. It's heartwarming to watch. I want to thank the Red Bank Fire Department for coming here, and Councilman Murray. I think what a great, I just have to point out again, what a great, seeing our Middletown and Red Bank work together. I just think that's awesome, and I just want to recognize that. And finally, I want to congratulate our Middletown South girls basketball team. Coach Tom, I knew Tom when I went to South, class of '87. I think Tom may have been a year older than me, but don't tell him I pointed that out to you. Great coach, great team, and there's the athletics coming out of Middletown right now. It's just phenomenal, and I'm just incredibly proud to be a part of that in Middletown and a South grad myself. So that's fantastic. Sorry for the long-windedness here, Mayor, but I'm all done, and thank you.
Thank you. I see a lot of public here tonight, so I am going to keep my remarks very brief. I have been all over town this last couple of weeks. I've been to Shadow Lake, and I will say that the seniors that I spoke with are quite engaged, and they are certainly very informed of issues. They asked a lot of tough questions, but it was a pleasure to be there. I've been to Village School and the library. There have been a lot of reading programs, so I've been really excited to help put emphasis on reading and writing. Been to Duck Donuts. I don't know if any of you have been to Duck Donuts. We cut the ribbon there. And we're very excited when businesses come to Middletown, and we're able to foster that excitement and hope that they become successful and mainstays in town. And just one more thing I'd like to mention about the signs, because they really are amazing. We will have more dedications throughout the year. There's another round coming up in May. And what's really great about these signs is that they do tell a very personal story. They will tell you the conflict. They will tell you the year that the person was born, the person died. So it's not just a name that you see. It's a very personal story. And there was, if I'm not mistaken, Dr. Scharfenberg, a revolutionary skirmish up in Hartshorn. I don't know if anybody knew that. So that's also very interesting. We've had skirmishes and battles, quite locally as well in major wars. I was also invited to partake in the Women in Government program set up by the League of Women Voters, and I was able to speak to our high school girls. Also, very, very important program. I was very glad to be there. So with that, I am going to open up to public comment. And if someone would like to be first, I just need to have your, for the record, your name and your address, and you'll get 5 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Joseph Foley. My address is 6 Green Meadow Boulevard. And I am the treasurer of the Green Meadow Estates Homeowners Association. And I'm here tonight on behalf of 104 homeowners that live on or near Four-Winds Drive. Some of whom have joined me here tonight because they're all concerned about the condition of Four-Winds Drive. Four-Winds Drive, in case you haven't been on it recently, it's really a major through street connecting White Road and Middletown Lincroft. There are a lot of trucks that use the road to get through. It's also a major connection for students going to and from High School South. We've had issues in the past with speed problems, people speeding up and down the road. And the current issue now, in addition to that, is the condition of the road itself. It's just gotten to be so poor to the point where Public Works is doing their damnedest to just keep it as a drivable road. They're out there continuously. They're doing, I would say, pretty good work in terms of trying to patch it, but that's all they're doing. They're patching. I've got pictures of what the road looks like, which I'll leave with you. But they're really going uphill. Every time they patch it, within a few days, the trucks and the traffic that's on that road just churning everything up. The holes get deeper and wider, and it's to the point where myself and many other residents drive on the wrong side of the road to avoid all the potholes, which I don't have to tell you creates a more dangerous condition. We would love to get some consideration for that road, getting some either repaving or major work done to it. Understand there's always budget issues and there are priorities. We'd like to see that street a very strict review. And if it's not possible to get something in the near term, we'd at least like to see some more permanent repairs in terms of the patch. Because they throw in the asphalt and it's really just pounded down with a shovel and that's about it, and then it just comes right back up. So they're throwing a lot of money away in doing all that work continuously. That's all I have to say. I will leave you with pictures and also a list of homeowners and Green Meadow.
Thank you.
Mayor, can I ask a question?
Yeah, I think Ted has a little info.
So my only question is, are you also employing a hot patch or is that just a cold patch?
Well, right now, we're still using cold patch to patch through the winter, and that's basically what we do all the way up to at this time of year. We do have plans, once brush collection's finished, to do some more permanent repairs on Four-Winds. It's been actually, I've been out there probably every spring for the past 3 years looking at it. We've had it on our list and we talk about it probably every year. We do what we can during the year to patch it up, like you said. But again, to get, it's a long road, it's a big expense to pave that whole road. And with the past few winters, we did some major thoroughfares really hit hard. And unfortunately, they take a priority with all the traffic coming through. But I am familiar with it, I'm out there a lot, looking at the pavement. And take a look at the pictures and we'll see what areas we can really hit this summer. And when I say the summer, probably in June, to really make some permanent repairs out there. We have we did acquire some equipment in the past year, a hot mix asphalt, they call it a hot box, where we can do a lot more permanent repairs. And we're working with a neighboring community to use one of their hot plate machines, where we can do some really solid permanent repairs in some bigger areas. So I'm hoping we can get out there. And I think I might have spoken to you over the past couple of years about it. I'm glad to meet you out there and look at the real, to prioritize the areas where we could hit this summer. I know it's pretty bad, and we have a lot of things like that, unfortunately, after this past winter.
What is generally the life of a road? When does it come up to this?
Everyone tries to pin, 20 years is the life of a road, but that varies. We have some roads in town that are probably 50 years old that look like they're brand new. We have some that are 3 years old that are already starting to get beaten up. It depends on the traffic, depends how the seasons are, how we treat them with salt, whether water gets in the cracks, and that kind of thing. So it's really hard to say, we'd like to think it's going to last 20, 25 years ago, but again.
I'm sure when that development was created 30 years ago, it wasn't intended for those roads to take the kind of traffic that they're taking with the trucks and with, the amount of traffic that they're getting. So
I understand that's a cut through there, and there's a lot of traffic coming through. But I will get out there again and take a look, and maybe I'll give you a call, and we'll try to look at, the major areas where we can do some repairs.
Thank you.
Mayor, I just have a question for Mr. Mercantile. He also mentioned speeding is a problem there. Is there any way we can get, give a list of these areas to the chief and maybe identify some places? I know on another road, I've gotten names of people who allow the police to sit in their driveway, which to me, that's the only way you stop speeding is to empty your ticket book and word gets out then. So maybe there's a way we can identify a few areas there where we can set up, some enforcement.
Yeah, when we hear about it, particularly cut-through streets, they tend to get a lot of speeding. Now, if we know it's an issue, we'll have the police target, they can put their local speed signs up temporarily, that helps, and then do some enforcement, and, usually when people get tickets, the word gets around, and it helps slow traffic down. Just on the road pavement itself, we've looked at Four Winds, and that's probably a street, if we're getting a neighborhood that we're going to get into next year, we'll start designing some road improvements. One of the things to understand, because the neighborhood is a fairly large neighborhood with a lot of side streets, once we go into a neighborhood, we tend to want to do the whole neighborhood, so it takes several years to do a portion of Four Winds, maybe one of the side streets, and then next year you do another portion of Four Winds and another side street. So it takes a while to do the design for all that, and it's a very big project, well over $1 million just for Four Winds alone, let alone the side road. So it is one that we've got on our agenda to start scheduling design work probably next year.
My name is Don Feistel. I live at 174 Ridge Drive in Middletown. I'm a member of the Homeowners Association in Middletown. I happen to have the distinction of living in my house for 30 years in Fulton Drive, so I was there in the beginning, and I can tell you with 100% assurance that that road has not been paved in the 30 years I've been there. If you go on that road, you will see, you can look and you can see cracks that go the distance of forward from White Road all the way down. So clearly there's some issues with sinking of stuff, but as Joe mentioned, it's become a real dangerous situation with pavement coming up, school buses flying through there. Joe mentioned about kids going to south, they also go through there. And there's a ton of garbage trucks that make their way through there on their way back and forth to Middletown and Cross Road. Now, if there's any way we can get them off the road, keep them at it, maybe that might help them. But the bottom line is that, we need to expedite getting that road paved. I don't think anybody expected that the road will last 30 years. They would assume that that road was paved by the builder, which was Williamsburg Estates, Williamsburg Builder. Yeah, Williamsburg Associates. And, it's really, gotten into significant disrepair. The guys that come by and pave it, as Joe mentioned, they're trying the best they can to kind of keep things, on the up and up, but it's I think the ocean of Dixie Cup just doesn't happen. And that road gets messed up the next day. So it's a fuel battle. So we really need to do what you can to help us to get that road saved. I know that money is always an issue. We appreciate your financial acumen to try to keep things under control from a tax perspective.
really need to get this taken care of. It's going to become there's going to be an accident on that road. God forbid, as a kid going south, lose control of his car because he hits a actual asphalt that kicks up. Okay, so thanks very much.
Yes, sir.
Just wanted to, so my name is Thomas Laura. I live at 98 Baldwin Drive, and my house is probably pictured in some of the pictures. I just want to bring to the town's attention a gross sample of the road that was picked up recently. And this is a chunk of the asphalt that's laying in the street. Sometimes these things get kicked out of the trucks onto the sidewalk. But the most important thing that I've recognized in my experience living there for 13 years is that some of the holes, you can actually see the dirt at the ground level. And according to some of the research, I understood that asphalt should be laid about 6 inches. I could be wrong. If you measure points of the street where the holes are, you'll notice that the asphalt that was laid is about 3 inches, which is far inferior than what should be the recommended specified material that should be used. So if you might want to research that when you do come out to look at it, you might want to look at how thick the asphalt is. That could be part of the problem.
That's not uncommon with a lot of old developments. That's another reason why the project is so expensive, because there's no reconstruction of the buildings, so just resurface. So we do take that into account as we design.
I want to label the point. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Stanley Lennon. I live on Forward Drive as well, 126 Forward Drive. I'm trying to repeat what's already been said, but we don't have thank you for mentioning Township Youth League. My daughter's involved in it. My wife teaches the yoga program. Tennis, it's terrific. It really is. All the comments that have been made are absolutely true. The comment and questions around speeding is something that I really want to emphasize. I'm on the corner of Vaughan, which is very short, 3 houses long, and Full Winds Drive. And it's a 25-mile-an-hour speed, and they're going a lot faster than that. Weather's turning, kids are on bikes. My daughter's school bus comes in to pick her up. It is a tragedy waiting to happen. The trucks, everyone's cutting through. I get it, but the road is damaging. Sure, it absolutely needs to be repaired. But I think speeding is something that really needs to be thought about. I did go to the police department, mentioned it. The patrol car went that afternoon, and you can see it was such a difference. People were, you just tell they stop, they slow down, because they saw the police car. If anything could be done, that would be one intersection just from a personal perspective, it's right outside my window. I can see it all the time.
And that's something we can probably help with pretty quickly.
Where were you? I'm sorry, on the corner of
On Full Winds Drive and Vaughan Drive.
Vaughan?
Vaughan.
Yeah.
My address is 126. It's closer to Dwight, so it's kind of, people are really picked up speed together.
Yeah.
They've just gotten onto Full Winds and they get ready to just race on down the street.
Can we get maybe speak to the chief, like you said, and have one of those speeds? I had one of those in my neighborhood, and it really slowed things down, and it kept it down for quite a while. I think I prefer tickets. I think that's the lasting memory when you get a ticket. But keep in mind, some of the residents could be the ones getting the tickets. So, enforcement's a double-edged sword, but it will work for everybody, that's for sure.
Is there anyone else who's interested in making a public comment? Seeing no other member, oh, wait, okay.
Is this for the same topic or?
Whatever you like. Forgot my glasses in my office, so if you're raising your hand and I don't see you, you might have to do a little bit more.
Hi, my name is John. I live at 29 Movie Drive.
what I was wondering is that, is there a way that the town can make information more available regarding the town project? Well, as a land project. Recently went to the planning board. I think the concern is that it's been an upsell thing for a long time. I think facts have changed. I think there's a lot of secondhand information going around. And it's 48-hour notices online, only neighbors within 200 feet. This is going to really affect a lot of people in this town. I think we know that the 35 situation will not be solved no matter what they do. The Navy on the other side is not going to let us crush those intersections. I think you can see what Tropical Road Bridge damage right now with that traffic looks like. It's not horrible, but that's one little instance. East Road, Sticky Hollow, Kings Highway East, Twin Brook. It's going to be very difficult. I think a lot of people are going to be surprised. Because I don't think people realize this is rated 10 again. I think the last time this has been discussed was 2009. I'm just wondering if there a way that the town can sort of let people know where we are and what the town stands is. I know the planning board has their job, but their job is to compare to zoning. But I think it's a little bit bigger than that committee. And their mandate.
Either one of you guys are addressing that.
Let me just make a comment, and I'll let the administrator mention that. You were at the planning board meeting, and I know that I know you made comments at the planning board meeting with regard to the GDP for the Mountain Hill application. And I do recall that the chairman and council at the meeting had said to you that the application had been followed notification procedures, which everyone within 200 feet were notified, and the response was that if it were to be more than that, a notification would be difficult to track, and where do you stop? Do you notify the entire town? How do you do that? And someone's going to miss notification. So the planning board, as you know, is a quasi-government agency, and you have to follow very, very strict rules with regard to that. The administrator can comment on it further if he likes, but I know he asked the same question there, and I want to make sure you get the same response here that you got there. The town, as a member of the Township Committee and a member of the Planning Board, we certainly want to have everyone as informed as possible. And there's certainly nothing that anyone is trying to hide or not disseminate information. So what I need you to understand is that there's a line between making certain that we preserve the procedures of the planning board and the rights of the applicants and the rights of the members of the public, and not overstep that. So all the information is always available to you from the planning board at any point in time. In the planning office, you can stop and say, hey, I want to take a further look at the Mountain Hill development, and they're always available to you. So if there's more information that you're looking for, it's always there. But I don't know that it can be published further beyond the rules and regulations of the planning board.
If I could just, this question is exactly asked at the planning board meeting, not this last time, the first time. Okay. And there's a difference between legal notice and putting information out. The planning board can't require an enhanced notice, like the notice requirement is 200 feet. The planning board can't say, well, we want it to be 500 feet because the development is big. The law just doesn't allow you to do that, and it would be improper. And the question would be, why don't you do that in everything then? Because what's affecting some people in one area doesn't affect people on the other side of town. What happens when something's proposed in their area is going to require it to be an enhanced notice. So that's not really legally an option. But the reality is that, as everyone knows from the times in the past, when the Mountain Hill was just before the planning board for a general development plan, that's the very, very preliminary stage of that application process. There would be multiple applications coming after that, subdivision applications and at least 2 site plan applications. Those will be very well publicized. They will be very well covered by the media. The media will be at all the meetings. So even if you don't get a specific notice of that hearing, there will be articles in the newspaper announcing it, and the word will be everywhere. And also, the planning board does publish, put on the website its agenda for its upcoming meetings, so it can always be monitored to see when this item is on the agenda. But I don't think anyone's going to have a hard time finding out when it's on the next agenda. It's going to be very well publicized in the media, I'm sure of that.
One question. Those agendas are generally 48 hours. Is that going to be the same sort of time?
They're not 48 hours.
Online they are. You can see the timestamp. for example, March 2nd.
And when it's posted on? when it's
Yeah,
posted?
that's when we'll sit down and see, so
Yeah.
200 feet away.
Yeah, but keep in mind that at most planning board hearings, at the end of the evening, they announce the next date it's going to be heard publicly. So everyone, if you're at a meeting, you'll know when the next one is, because they announce it publicly. So it's announced at least a month in advance, actually, in public.
The agendas, I think, as a former member of the planning board, the reason that you went up with that Monday at 48 hours, because the planning boards usually get their packet till Friday, because I think they have up until Friday prior to that Wednesday usual meeting, if I'm not mistaken, just going to bring up, to get the information over for the next upcoming meeting. So they're basically getting it, usually I think they're trying to get it on Friday, or they used to try to get it on Friday so that they can review it, and then it goes up on, it's a late Friday. So that's it. But the one thing I just wanted, because I know we're pressed for time, the one thing I just wanted to comment, you made a question about the township stance. Now, the township can't give the stance on an application as to whether we, legally, we can't give an opinion whether we, are advocate or opponent to a development. But I'll just be very honest with you, I don't really think it matters what I think about the application or anybody on this board, because we're here because we're forced to be here. It's these developments, whether it's Mountain Hill, Avaya, Taylor Lane, I mean, you can see the comments on every single one of them. You can see the planning board's, choices on every single one of them. Ultimately, it doesn't matter in this state, is all I'm going to say what my opinion is or not, because the rules of code, the rules of this courts tend to rule the day. So I don't want to sound like, obviously every application has to be on its merit, so that does matter. So you have to have an application. You can't have something that would be detrimental by the rules of land use. But as for whether we want it or not, I just don't think our opinion matters anymore.
Yeah, I was going to say in terms of what you wanted, that's pretty interesting. But in terms of things like, other than Route 35, any additional traffic study would have to be requested by the town.
Again, that's all part of land use, and the town will make sure.
That's not true. The part of the site plan application process requires a traffic study for any site plan
But how
application.
far though? In other words, the question we had during the planning board meeting is that East Road, you're going to have Sleepy Hollow, you're going to have Twin Brooks, you're going to have a lot of roads that people are going to avoid 35. And we know the junction here between Kings Highway and Tyndall is not.
Right. All the intersections that you mentioned will definitely be a part of the traffic study.
Okay. Yeah. And the only concern was that if the developer is giving a board of, short amount of time, it's a lot of stuff. So I think the committee here knows that this is going to be a tremendous impact. I think these folks in the planning board have seen the size of this.
We all share this.
The number of units, the schools, good traffic, the water problems we already have. And I just wanted to point that out. I appreciate it.
Just to reiterate what our administrator said, is when he said, the board would give it a short amount of time, this is a general development plan. So there will be many more extensive applications in terms of subdivision applications and actual site plan applications that are far more intense and will drill down far more with regard to the specificity of the applications. They'll be fully engineered and designed plans. And we'd like certainly to make certain that you come back and continue to ask questions. I know I will, because the information will be more abundant in addition to the traffic studies that will come back. And those will be the proper times to ask those questions.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Any other members of the Mr. Watson?
Good evening once again. My name's Don Watson, living at 1 Collinson Drive. And I think one thing the gentleman wanted to know is, like, at the last planning board meeting, there were exhibits presented. Now, all of that material should be posted online so people can view it, even though it's after the fact, but at least they're not in the dark. Okay? They did make a few copies available to people in the audience. And if it's available to the audience, it should be available online. So if people have some idea, I think a lot of questions would be resolved ahead of time so people could see exactly what's being proposed, even if it is a GDP or whatever. they had a little problem with it. Lights, and I understand we had a whole power problem here at Town Hall.
Almost complete lights out here.
Almost complete lights out. If it wasn't for the generator, we'd probably be in the dark.
Also the fire department, building.
Yeah, right. But I was wondering, we are rewiring the building right now, is that correct? We hired an electrician, or our town electrician is rewiring the whole building. Is that part of our refurbishment of the town hall?
No, the building is not being required. There was a main feed coming in from the highway that had to be replaced.
Correct.
Damaged. There were certain pieces of equipment and certain circuits within the buildings are damaged and going to be repaired, but not rewiring the entire building.
But the one circuit that controls these lights.
Right. We actually are still finding things that we didn't even know were damaged. This only happened last week.
Right.
So
Potentially we could be rewiring the whole building.
yeah, unlikely.
Unlikely. Okay. I was just wondering because have there been any final plans for the redesign of this town hall yet?
There are not final plans. There are plans.
Preliminary plans?
There are plans for the municipal building, and those are in the works now.
That's for the building, you said?
Yes.
Cool. And one thing we could do better, I think, about bringing commercial ratables into town, people to stop zoning properties along the highways as residential. Over the years, we've been taking commercial property, zoning as residential. We got the commercial, I think, would be more commercial ratables and everything. So that's one reason why I think we're having a hard time keeping commercial ratables or bringing them in. Put up that hot patch machine over 4 winds. So you think we're going to be using that over there?
Yes.
Yes. Cool. Like see it in action.
Thank you. Anyone else from the public wishing to make? Yes, sir? Ma'am, you'll be next.
Follow up on planning board resolution, the general development. I'm just trying to understand what the general development chapter is. Best I can understand from the schematic drawings that were presented was that there's 2 lots, and the wetlands is going to be the open space. So when you approve the general development, does that mean that you approve the concept of the wetlands will be along the open space? Is that what you're saying? I don't understand what general development is.
The general development plan is specific, there's a special provision in the law for a general development plan. It only applies to properties over 100 acres. And what it means is that instead of, the first step in approving a development, instead of approving a very specific site development plan, you approve what essentially is kind of like a master plan for the entire property. So it's more conceptual. So the final product might not look exactly like that, but the number of units should be the same, the amount of open space should be the same, the amount of commercial square footage should be about the same in the final application. So this just proves like the maximum of everything. And it'll change as the application gets more detailed through the subdivision and the site plan process. Right now, it isn't 2 lots, it's really one big tract of land.
So, but the concept, when you approved it, the concept of using wetland as open space was actually part of the approval.
Well, the ordinance allows a certain percentage of the open space to be wetlands. It's already 100%. No, it's not 100%. No. In fact, I had a calculation at the meeting that showed what percentage was open space. The open space was constrained land versus non-constrained land.
Okay.
Thank you.
My name is Karen Martin. I live in Columbus, Road. This is going to sound like a dumb question, but have there been any environmental studies done? Because everything from Chapel Hill Road up is a very environmentally sensitive area. And wrong, a lot of the residents were really concerned because it could be this development now, and then it'll be, the house will stay next, and then, all of our open space is going away. And I think that's one of my concerns anyway. And we can only support so much business and retail and, affordable housing. I'm not against these things, but did anybody do environmental studies? There's a lot of species and the runoff and everything, and what's going on in Chapel Road now.
Which property are you talking about?
Well, the Mountain Hill project.
Well, Mountain Hill property is very different than the other properties you mentioned, because those are in a non-sewer service area, where this is in a sewer service area, so they're treated very differently. And the other thing is, with the Mountain Hill property, it's currently constantly being cut, the trees are constantly being cut down. They have a farmland assessment on that property, and their farmland program is to cut down trees.
How much of that property though?
All of it.
100% of it?
All of it, and except the part that has the spirits on it, and the businesses. So that property is treated very differently than other properties. But the bottom line is, yes, an environmental impact study has to be done. It was done for the GDP. A more detailed one will be done for the site plan applications, and those will be for the planning board.
And for Trinity Hall as well?
Trinity Hall is already done.
Okay. Right, thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to make any public remarks? Seeing no other members of the public wishing to speak, I move to close the public portion and adjourn.
Second.
Mayor Stewart.
Yes.
Mayor Sharper.
Yes.
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Michelle.
Yes.
Mayor Motion carries to adjourn.